Welcome to Rebecca Brand Recipes. This is a cooking show where we make a lot of great dishes, and today's dishes are kid-tested. We're starting off with the most amazing simple weeknight dinner, garlic pasta. This is called Aglio e Olio in Italian, and it is a classic. It is so simple, but yet so satisfying. Then we're going to make applesauce, homemade, which is a great way to use up apples you know you're not going to eat fresh, because they stay in that fridge for about a week. We're also making apple pancakes. This is a great dish to make for your kids, and it has fruit already embedded in it, and they're so pretty too. We'll top it off with a banana smoothie, which is a great after-school snack for your kid. Or you. If you see a recipe that you want to make at home, stay to the end, and I'm going to show you how to go get them. Let's start cooking. I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're making spaghetti aglio e olio, and that's spaghetti with garlic and olive oil. We need garlic, olive oil, butter, chicken bouillon, Parmesan cheese, spaghetti, chili pepper flakes, salt, pepper, and parsley. So we're going to get our water boiling first thing for our noodles. So I add to this pan 10 cups of water, 3 tablespoons of chicken broth granules. This is a trick. This is my favorite part of this recipe. It adds a special richness to it. If you don't have chicken broth, just use a tablespoon of salt, and that's fine. That's the more classic way. Cover it, it's going to boil faster. This is a really great, fast, quick dinner. And so you just got to chop that garlic. You know I like to do things fast, so let me show you how this goes. You take your garlic and you cut it right at the tip, so you don't have to struggle to pop it out of where it goes into the roots. So out of that head of garlic, which is the whole entire bulb, I'm going to take these little cloves out, and I need 6 or more depending on how much you like garlic. So I take my knife, I crush it. Now look at how fast it is to peel. Trash. There we go. Let's do a few. Smash. Smash. Peel off that skin, lickety split, put my garlic in a pile. And another thing that's great about this method is, hey, if you lose some of that garlic, some of the quantity, because it's gone into the paper, whatever. Okay, so here's my quantity of garlic. Now I do this, chop, chop, chop. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Okay, that water's still getting hot. We're gonna make our sauce now. I'm turning this on high. I'm gonna heat up my pan, and I'm going to pour my oil in it. This is just regular olive oil. I save the expensive stuff for when I'm not cooking with it, because when you cook with it, it's going to degrade the flavor anyway, so don't spend your money on that expensive extra virgin for cooking. As that oil is getting hot, I'm going to add my chopped garlic. I hear it sizzle a little bit. My heat is on high. It's been on high for 30 seconds. I'm going to turn it down to medium, because there's nothing worse than browned garlic. Toasty is okay, but brown goes bitter. Stir up your garlic so it evenly cooks, and what's happening is the garlic is releasing its oil and juices inside to flavor this olive oil. Now I hear by the sound of it, it's sizzling, that it's really pretty warm. So down to medium, don't want to overcook it, don't want to overcook it. In time, it's going to cook just toasty, just beautiful, but not too much. And I'm telling you, it will ruin your dish. Great, our water is boiling. That's perfect. I'm adding the full 1 pound of our dry spaghetti noodles to that. I need to stir it because I don't want those spaghetti sticking together. That is looking perfect, so I turn this off. Can you see that that's a little bit toasted, has a little bit of the brown? That is all you want. Any more than that, it's going to get bitter. Back over to your pasta. Let's stir that pasta. Now that pasta is going to take 9 minutes. While the spaghetti is boiling in that water, I am going to chop my Italian parsley. I'm going to chop this pretty finely because it'll somewhat cook and somewhat wilt while it's sitting against that hot pasta. I have about 4 more minutes till this pasta's ready. I want to reserve 1 cup of this liquid to go into my oil. This is why I added the chicken stock, because it gives it more of a depth of flavor. Pour that hot stock right into your oil mixture. Because we've added broth to the oil, I am not worried about that garlic getting too brown now. So I'm going to turn this back on and keep it hot. Once it comes to a boil, just turn it down on low. You're good. Okay, 9 minutes. Check. That's great. So drain that pasta. Do not rinse it. You want all the stickiness in there because you want your sauce to stick to that. Oh, yum. Let's put that together. Just pour that sauce over your noodles. To that, I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of red chili flakes for a little bit of bite. Here comes my cheese on that hot bed of noodles. And here we go with our Italian parsley. And everything's battered with butter. Here is 2 tablespoons of butter. That may not be the most Italian thing about this dish, but I love it. So we're going to toss it now. I'm ready for my big plate of spaghetti with garlic and olive oil. And a little pepper for me. And just for beauty purposes, I'm going to grate some fresh cheese on top so it's really flaky. It's pretty that way, but not necessary. Let's try it. Wow. Oh my gosh. It is so delicious because it's got the garlic in it, but it's not going to blow me away with the garlic bite. It's really mellow. I gotta tell you, I'm loving that parsley in it, and that cheese inside and outside and on top is really working. So comment, let me know what you think of it. Share it with your friends. Enjoy. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're going to make homemade applesauce. It's amazing to make it at home, and it's great when those apples are on sale. And the only thing you need for this recipe are apples and a little bit of cinnamon, and that's it. Let's get started. So we have to peel our apples. I always buy the big fatties because they're faster to peel for me. 1 piece of kitchen equipment that is so worth the extra money is a really good peeler. The little flimsy ones, they cut me. They're hard to get the apple. They slide off the skins. It's crazy. So I splurge and spend that extra $2 for the best they have in the house at my store. If you come to a little brown spot, you can dig it out with your peeler. This is a red delicious apple. The other one was a Granny Smith. These are easier to peel because they've got very flat sides to them. This dish is so great to make with kids. It is so good for kids to know where food comes from. And although, hey, when I'm in a hurry, I buy it in the cans. But you know what? Apples are so easy to come by. I always have them on hand, and I figure, hey, if I don't eat that apple, it's going to go bad. So I'll make applesauce out of it. Okay, I'm going to stop at 2. So now we're going to slice our apples, and this is my quick trick for getting around that core. I slice one side off, then the next side, and the next side, and then the next side. And then I have the core left. That is easy, rather than digging it out like that, because that takes a lot of finesse and I never get it right. And because I want to cook this in like 10 minutes, I'm going to cut it up in little squares. The smaller the pieces, the faster it takes to cook. I am also cutting that skin off because it's a tough bite. Nobody wants that. Into the pot it goes. And here's Miss Granny Smith. Uh-oh. I got her down the center. Now that's what I'm saying. That is trouble. I don't like this. This is no fun for me. It takes longer to do it this way. It's just, what you have to do is you gotta eyeball it. Okay, where do I think that's gonna be? Where can I dodge it? There, I did that cut. And then the sides. It's an art to get just the core out with leaving most of your apple to eat. Okay, into the pot. Add a little water, almost to cover your apples. That's all you need. And you're gonna put a lid on your pot, and you're gonna cook it. So turn your heat on high, and you're gonna bring it to a boil, which is gonna take about 5 minutes, and then you let it cook for about 10 minutes until they're super soft, like a mashed potato would be. And with a lid on your pot, it goes faster, believe me. So when that comes to a raging boil, you turn that down to medium to medium low, because water boils at 210 degrees, and it doesn't get any hotter than that. That's all you need. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna turn that off, and we're gonna test it for being soft. Now look at that, that's really soft. We've got Action Jackson, because that's what you want. Yay! So now just strain it. You want to get the extra water out and give it a good jiggle in that strainer. And back in the pot it goes. So now it's time to add your cinnamon. I'm adding 1/8 teaspoon. Okay, so we're going to mash that up with a potato masher or use a fork and mix that cinnamon around. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. This was just the easiest applesauce in the world to make. My apples didn't go bad. It'll stay in the fridge for a week. This also makes really good shakes too, believe it or not. I've got an apple smoothie in my recipe, and you can use this for that too. It'll take you about 30 seconds to get it to the right consistency. How fast is that? Look at that. Is that like perfect? That is so much better than processed. How healthy for your babies too. This dish is a winner for kids young and old, whatever category you're in. I even like eating it warm. It's almost like a warm apple pudding. It's so healthy. This was just apples and cinnamon and no sugar. Let's try it. That's amazing. Subscribe to my channel and let's keep cooking together. Bon appetit! Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're making apple pancakes. This is a really great kids recipe, so bring them into the kitchen for this one. The ingredients for the dish are apples, eggs, milk, flour, baking powder, salt, sugar, and melted butter. And then more butter for our grilling pan. Because I always like to cook fast because I want to hurry up and eat, I'm going to start melting my butter. And the secret to this is melting it on very low while you do the rest of your mixing of the batter. Let's get our batter ready. So I'm going to use 2 eggs in this batter, which is really twice the normal pancake batter. But when I cook for my kids, I want to add a little extra protein, and the extra eggs makes that batter much lighter. It's a trick and it's a secret, one that I've developed over many years. Whip them around, break up the yolks. And then to that, we're going to add 3/4 cup milk. I am making the most simple of pancake batter recipes. You don't have to have buttermilk in the house because I never do. I hardly ever use buttermilk. So this recipe uses plain old white milk. Yay. Now look how easy this little cleanup is with my eggs. I get to wipe my little fingers off from all that sticky mess, and this goes in the trash. Bingo. Here's another trick for a 1 bowl mess. The object of this game is having this 1 cup of flour mixed in with our other dry ingredients. Okay, so to do that, we're going to put him in one big plop in the center of our bowl. Just like that. On top of Mr. Flour pile, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. right in the center there. We're gonna add half a teaspoon of salt, aim, shoot, fire, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Same old deal, aim, shoot, fire. With a fork, we're going to carefully, sweetly mix all those dry ingredients up in Mr. Flour Island, floating on those eggs. Isn't that great? I didn't have to dirty up another bowl. I'm so happy with this. So as I lightly mix, I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of oil, but I'm a butter girl, so this is butter in this recipe. I love the rich taste of butter. I always try to go with butter rather than oil, but oil's less expensive, so whatever you have around, it's great. So then just mix this up. The trick to having super airy, fluffy pancakes is not over mixing. So I'm just getting those ingredients wet, and when I see little islands of the flour, then I'll continue to mix. But that's really gonna be about it for me. See, that's done. Inspector Clouseau has to check this out. Good, I'm ready. I see those bubbles. Oh my gosh, that's great. The bubbles mean I've got Action Jackson on that baking powder. Woohoo! So make sure you wash your apples. You don't want any pesticides in your beautiful food. I love this recipe because it's almost like an apple fritter. So what you need to do is cut your apples, and I want the round circular design on it. It makes it really pretty. So I'm cutting this apple about 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. Can you see that? That's what I want for my thickness, because I want that apple to get soft the same amount of time it takes that pancake to cook. Now that's the art of this dish. You don't want a crunchy apple, you want a soft apple in your pancake. So 1/8 to 1/4 is it. Any fatter than that, and it's gonna be hard. Be really careful cutting this apple to not get your fingers. It's kind of hard. You kind of have to wedge in your knife a little tiny bit until it gets in the groove. As I get closer to the bottom of it, it gets harder to cut. Now this knife is a scary looking knife to me. I am gonna switch utensils. Here we go. So to start it, you're gonna cut a little bit of pocket, like a groove. Okay, so there your knife is like set in the groove, and then with your fingers way away from that knife, you're going to then press down and cut your slice, and there you go. Now I wanna get the core out. So with a knife, I'm going to cut that out. Don't need that. Twirl, twirl. Get him out. This guy's got just a little bit of core. He's easier. And this one doesn't have any seeds. He's good to go. He came with a flower shape in his design. Done. We're ready to cook. So my pan had slowly melted this butter without any burning because it was on low. Now we crank up that heat to medium-high and swirl around your butter. I'm going to make 3 apple pancakes at a time. So I put my little apples evenly spaced in that pan right on top of that butter, like that. Now that's going to start to cook a little bit as that pan gets hotter. So I take a 1/4 cup of the batter, I hear it sizzle, and I pour the 1/4 cup of batter over that apple. And I go slowly because I like to be a circle if I can make it. And then go to the next one. Right on top. And number 3, here we go. Don't fuss with it, leave it there, and let's let it cook. What we want are the bubbles to come up. Then we'll know it's time to flip. So we see the bubbles on the edges. This is good. All that baking powder is having some action in there. Yay. So it's going to take about 3 minutes per side to cook this. Do not rush that flip. You can see the action with the baking powder. That's awesome. Those little bubbles are rising to the top. That's giving us all that air in that pancake. Because it needs extra heat for that apple to cook, I'm going to now turn my stove on to medium. Okay, I see that those bubbles are getting dry. That means it's time to flip. For a perfect flip, I usually keep a second spatula handy. Ooh, look at that. Look at that apple. What pretty color. Oh, I'm happy with that. Do not press it down. If you do that, you're gonna lose all that air in that fluffy pancake. You want them as high and light as possible. This guy looks ready now too. Shove this one over and flip. Oh yeah. And number 3. Pretty. Can never have enough butter. So I'm adding some at this point. Oops, he's getting away. Let's check the bottom. Oh my gosh, that looks perfect. We are done. Heat off. These look so good. Look at my stack of apple pancakes. How pretty is that? Wow, look at that. Those apples are tender and soft. This is such a great breakfast for kids. They get their fruit and they get their pancake. Let's take a bite. All that hot syrup, oh my gosh. Huh. That's amazing. Subscribe to my channel and let's keep cooking together. If you make these at home, take a picture. Put it on my Facebook. I'd love to see it. Comment, write to me, and let's keep cooking. Bon appetit. And today we're going to make a banana smoothie that's on the healthy side. Let me tell you what we put into this. Bananas, orange juice, yogurt, honey, and some ice cubes. When you have those bananas and they start to get those spots on it, do like I do so they don't go to waste. Open them up, cut them in 1-inch cubes, and stick them in a bag in your freezer because this is going to help our smoothie be extra cold. For the orange juice, if you have some in your fridge, now that's the quickest way to home plate, and that's fine. But I'm going to make it with fresh oranges. Now yogurt, today I'm going to be using a Greek yogurt, but any kind of yogurt's fine for this. So to start, we're going to put our ice cubes into our blender, add our frozen bananas. I'm going to add 2 frozen bananas. Now let's get that orange squeezed. I've got one of these handy dandy gizmos. I love it. It's the easiest way for me to squeeze an orange or a lemon. But I'll tell you what also works great is a fork just in there, just churning it out. And I'll show you that too. So there's that way. That was pretty fast. Now the fork. This is really fast too. So the old-fashioned method works just as well. And just mush that fork until you get every bit of that juice out there. 1 orange is about 1/3 a cup. So if you're using the bottled or canned variety, then just 1/3 a cup of that will do fine. Into your blender it goes. Now let's add our yogurt. I'm adding 1 cup of Greek yogurt because I really like the Greek yogurt. I eat this with all kinds of things. And it's a little thicker than the others. But regular yogurt is great too. I've done this recipe every which way. Now I like my smoothie sweet, so I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey because that yogurt is a lot to sweeten because it's unsweetened. Now a lot of people are going to give me grief for this, I know, in my comments, and you're free to comment and let me know you don't like this part. But I love it. I like an extra sweet smoothie. So let's turn it on, let's pulse it. Because that ice will often get stuck. On and off it goes. I'm going to do this 4 times until it gets all down in the bottom of it. There we go. We got action, Jackson. That's been on for 30 seconds and it's well blended. Time to drink it. Oh, yummy. Look at that consistency. That's exactly what you want. Let's try it. It's delicious. You can add protein powder if you wanted to, but this is fantastic and it's so healthy. Subscribe to my channel and let's keep making things in the kitchen together. Cheers. If you want to make any of the recipes you saw on my show today, I've posted them all on YouTube. I'm going to show you how to find them so you can jot the recipes down and make it at your own house. So you got to get to a computer, you press your website browser, go to your address bar, and you type in www.youtube.com. Enter. Then YouTube's going to have its own little search bar. So in that search bar, you type in RebeccaBrandRecipes. You hit enter on your keyboard, and then you're going to get my page. So my page is going to come up, and then you want to search for the recipe you saw on the show. So you go into this little black thing. It's a black search bar. It's like you can never see it, so let me show you where it is. And in that bar, you type in what you saw. Let's say you saw a chicken recipe. So if you type in chicken and you press return, you're going to get all my chicken dishes. And then you can just click on whatever chicken you want. It's as simple as that. So start watching the video, and in it comes the recipe. So you click pause, and that's it. Get your pencil and paper together, start writing. Those are the ingredients, and they're exactly what I make on camera. For the techniques, you might want to watch it again. But bon appetit, happy cooking, and I'd love to know how it turns out. Cheers.